Grand evening, my hoodlums, and welcome to the MysticFiles podcast, where we dive into the creepy, the strange, and the unexplained. I am Luna, your guide through listener stories, paranormal encounters, folklore from every corner of the world, and the conspiracies that they don't want us talking about. If you have your own ghost story, supernatural encounter, a family legend, or an unexplainable what the hell was that kind of moment, check the description to learn how to submit your experience. Now turn your lights down, be sure to protect your energy, and let's go ahead and get into tonight's file. Alright, so this entry comes from a poster named Ari who originally submitted her story on Reddit. And the story goes: About 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion pretty late at night. The drive was about 2 hours, and I didn't stay the night because I had to be up the following day for work. Most of the drive was on roads with dense bushes and trees on either side, kind of like the creepy ones that you see in the movies. Anyway, I had been driving for about 45 minutes when I started to get really tired. You know how sometimes you just get tired out of nowhere? Well, yeah, that's what was happening to me. And at this point, I just knew I wasn't going to last. But I hadn't come across any place that made me feel safe to pull over and park. Not anywhere where I felt like I could safely sleep. After it became clear that I wasn't going to find a place to pull over and take a rest, and my tiredness wasn't going away, I did something very questionable. I pulled over on the side of the road into the grass. I parked behind some bushes trying to hide my car from anyone else who was going to try and pass. I made a mental note that the time was 11:22 and then I fell asleep. Some time later, I was awoken by a scratching sound. Oof, that's not good. I looked at the clock. It was 11:50. The sound stopped a few seconds after, and because I was extremely tired, I didn't bother looking around. I simply went back to sleep. I was later awoken by the same sound, now at 12:40. This time, it really freaked me out because this sound didn't stop. The thought ran across my mind that it could just be an animal inspecting the car. But why would it return almost an hour after it had left the previous time? I looked in my rearview mirror and just managed to catch a glimpse of something that was running away into the forest. Now, at the time, I thought it was the damn hook killer. You know, the story about the guy who got out of his car because him and his girlfriend had pulled over on the side of the road, and when he got out to investigate, he was murdered. And of course, I thought, fuck that to myself, as you should. So I got the hell out of there. There was a bend no more than 100 yards up the road, and as I came to it, there was a fucking car parked off to the side of the road with the driver on the side with the door open. As I rode by, I slowed down just to see if I could get a look and see if anyone was in the car, and there wasn't. Then I looked in my rearview mirror again. I didn't see anything, and all of a sudden, a guy comes sprinting around the corner, and he starts screaming at me, screaming things like, "Hey, hey, you, get the fuck out of here, that's my car." I said nope and got the fuck out of there and drove straight off that road. And of course, I never saw that guy again. Moral of the story: don't sleep on the side of the fucking desert road. Well, first and foremost, Ari, thank you so much for sharing that story because it definitely was an interesting one. But let me just say, you knew better than that. You knew better than to pull over on a strange road in the middle of the night in a heavily wooded area. You knew some shit was going to go down. We all know crazy things happen in the woods. Well, desert. I think you said desert, but still, we all know things happen in the middle of nowhere. And it seems like the most shit happens in the middle of nowhere. I definitely think you learned your lesson. No pulling over on strange roads in the middle of the night. Next time, you got to plan ahead for those trips when you're going to be driving by yourself. If you're not going to stay awake the entire time, don't go. Or if you don't have the funds to go get you a hotel when you get tired, you might want to just stay where you're at then. Take it from someone who likes to do a lot of night traveling. If you're not going to make it, don't risk it. So, of course, I have to ask, what did we learn? No pulling over on strange roads. Thank you for your submission, Ari.